Alright guys and gals, DMart95 here, going on with part 2 of the 4-valve installation on a GY6 150 157 QMK, or QMJ, I'm sorry. So anyways, is what we're going to start with is I'm going to take off the intake first, then I'm going to go on to the fan shroud, or the fan shroud and engine cowl, or engine shroud. So, but the first thing I'm going to take off is the intake by removing these two bolts, this one, that one. They're both 10 millimeter. You'll probably want a deep well to get down over top of these studs that come up. Make sure you don't lose your gasket right there. Okay, so the intake is off. Now we're going to go on to the fan shroud and the engine shroud. It's very simple to take this off. Got one bolt there, one bolt there, one bolt there, one bolt there, for a total of 4 bolts to remove your fan shroud. One bolt here, one bolt here, one bolt here, and one bolt here. That will allow you to remove your engine shroud. Now, you remove those, and don't just try to rip it apart. I don't have really good lighting right here, but these are held together with little interlocking tabs. Let me try to get a little better light. And I can't get better lighting, but right in here there's interlocking tabs. You push in right here with your finger. So don't just rip it apart. Push in with the tabs. Don't break your little tabs. So we'll be right back when that's done. All of these bolts were 8 millimeter bolts. Make sure you don't lose any of your bolts. Remember what order they came off in. This is what I do to keep my nuts and bolts in order. I put them back where they go, and then I just set them down on the shelf or wherever I'm going to. That way I know exactly where they go when I go to reassemble it. And there's the engine shroud. Again, remember, try to put your hardware back in where it goes if the spot's available so you don't lose it. Okay, next up, we're going to be removing the valve cover. 4 8 millimeter bolts. 1, 2, 3, and 4 right there. Bam. It helps to have the socket on there. Always try to put your hardware back. Now we need to remove the spark plug. To remove the spark plug, you're going to use a 5/8 spark plug socket. Reason it's a spark plug socket, I don't have the proper lighting to show you right now, but there's a rubber boot up in there. No, I don't have the proper lighting. There's a rubber boot up in there that grabs the spark plug so that as you pull it out, it comes out with the socket, because the spark plug most of the time is recessed down in the cylinder and it would be a real pain to get it out without the rubber boot. That's what the spark plug looks like. A buddy I talked to on one of the internet forums purchased one of these motors from the same reseller and had concerns that it may have been fired. This one's got a little bit of dark oil on there, but I don't think it's ever been fired. I wonder what they put in here. They may have put used oil in here just to ship it. But that's a clean plug. Okay, here's a quick note I want to make on these spark plugs. Whenever you get a new scooter or a brand new engine that's a Chinese engine like this, get rid of the plug. I don't know, this says Queeli or something, Kweili, and then it's got some Chinese writing on there. I don't know, it may be good over there, but over here I wouldn't use it. This is what I wanted to make a note on. Use these spark plugs, NGK. This is your standard plug, your copper core. The C7HSA, that's your standard copper core. That's an excellent plug. However, if you really want to go spend extra money, which I do, these are awesome plugs, especially in these scooters running premium fuel. I always run the iridiums. The number on this one is CR7HIX. You can't really see it in there because I'm holding it. But anyways, these are great plugs. NGK all the way. There's other good brands out there, but for me, I go with NGK, and I just wanted to quickly point it out that you should always get rid of a Chinese plug. Okay, so continuing on, these studs right here, in some instances, I already have studs, so I'm not going to need them, but the kit that I got does not come with studs from the distributor. So, but like I said, I already got some. But anyways, for those of you that don't, you might look at this and go, hey man, it don't have no head on there. How do I get it off? Let me show you real quick. These nuts right here that you took off for the intake, these are your intakes. These are your intake studs right here. Take one, put it on upside down like that. Turn it down, turn it down, turn it down. Then you're going to take this one. Start it on there and turn it down to the other one. Now, you're going to put a wrench on this bottom one. I had to grab an extra nut because it wasn't wanting to lock on there and turn. But anyways, you keep on stacking them up there. You may need to grab another wrench to get them tight. You tighten them up together. But once you get them tightened, you just put it on your bottom one, and as you can see, that stud's turning, and it'll back right out like it's a bolt. But I don't want to remove them. I've got other studs. I'm going to save that for whatever this goes for. But I just wanted to show you guys, for whoever's reusing these, how to get them out. Okay, well, I tried setting a timing on this motor. I did it multiple times. I turned it about 20 revolutions trying to get it. I could not get the timing. It's off by about 1.5 to 2 degrees. So it doesn't matter because I'm pulling it and I'll be able to reset the timing. But I wonder why the timing skipped like that. I wonder if my tensioner is not good and it's not keeping good tension. I don't know. It could be it just wasn't set right. That's probably what I'm thinking. It looks like it's only off like one tooth. So anyways, I'll fix that when I reset it. But I'd like to let my buddy Kiyakara know that the timing is off on mine. Next step will be to remove the rocker arm assembly by removing these 4 nuts right here. They're 12 millimeter. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you're gonna pull this off, and then your chain you'll dip down, or your cam you'll dip down and be able to slide your chain right off. And then take your chain and hold it down. You're gonna want to make sure it doesn't drop down in there. It can be a pain in the butt. Take note, in this video, what I'm using, this is an impact driver. This is not your normal screw gun. This is a Makita impact. Only use impact on jobs like this. Don't use a screw gun. When I remove the camshaft, I'm going to put a zip tie through the chain, make it harder for it to fall down in there.
103.3 KMR. It's going down for it. From thousands of tabulated phone calls, your request tonight, make this song open house party number 1. You gotta watch the video for this.
Oh.
See you again. Number 1, Wiz Khalifa, Charlie Puth. That open house party.
I got ahead of myself here. The cam, I was having a hard time getting it out. Remove the cam tensioner right here. It's attached by 2 millimeter or 8 millimeter bolts. Remove those, it'll release the tension on the chain. Try to give you a shot down in there. I found a flashlight. You can see down in there, you can see the cam plunger. Right there is the cam tensioner. Down in there, down in this valley, down in there, that's where the cam tensioner is. It pushes on these chain guides right here that hold tension on the cam. Not tension on the cam, I mean tension on the chain. So you just slide the chain off like that, and once the chain's off, you can simply pull your cam out. And again, try to make sure your chain doesn't fall down in there. This is a GY6 camshaft. See, on this one, I don't know how high this one lifts either, comparative to the one that comes with the 4-valve kit. Okay, now the next step here is I'm going to be removing the cylinder head. Got to take off these 2 bolts right here. Bam, bam. These ones are already removed. So that's all that's holding her on. Take that off and be right back. Those are pretty long.
This is Chad from Hot Shaman's Club, here to remind you why Haas is the best spot.
Once that's done, simply remove your cylinder head. Bye bye 2-valve, 4-valve, here I come. Oh yeah. Say bye bye 2-valve, 4-valve. Be seeing you soon. GY6 2-valve. My buddy that purchased one of these had concerns it may have been ran, may have been reconditioned or something. This had a little bit of stuff that was fired in here. I used a paper towel, it wiped right off. This has never been ran. They have test fired it, but that's never been ran before. Okay, so here we are. Here's the top of the piston. I'm starting to actually wonder if this thing was ever fired at all. Maybe that was a reconditioned head or something. I don't know, but if you look at the top of that piston, certainly doesn't look like it's seen any action whatsoever. I can't see anything. I haven't wiped anything off or anything. That's just how it is. So anyways, on with the video. So next step, I have to remove the cylinder. At this point, you don't have to take off any more hardware. You've already got everything unbolted. So sometimes you may have to tap these with a rubber mallet or something to get them to come off. But not in this case. This is a brand new motor, so everything's coming off nicely. You know, I'm not having to struggle with anything. I wasn't even planning on taking off this at the moment, but it just came off so nicely that... Set that right there for a minute. Alright, I'll be right back. So here we go with the cylinder removal. Now, one thing you want to be careful of, these things right here, your dowel pin, also known as your sleeve guides, or I don't know exactly what they're called. These come out. They're guides for when you put it back together. They hold it in place. When you see me pulling it out and it's a little stiff, that's what that's from. You know, these things create a lot of pressure. But anyways, that's it. There's the cylinder. Standard stock cylinder for the 57.8 millimeter 150 cc scooter. Next step, we got to remove the piston. Now, is how you do that. There's these little clips right here. You're going to take some needle nose pliers or whatever you want, and you're going to grab that little metal thing that I just touched, the little wiry part, and then you just pull it out. I don't know if I can do it while I'm holding the camera though. Wow, this is incredibly tricky. Ta-da! Then you go over and do to the other side. Ta-da! And there's the second one. Man, I feel like a dentist when I'm doing that. Okay, now is what you're gonna do. There's a pin in there called your dowel pin, or your connecting rod. No, not your connecting rod. I don't know. It's like a dowel rod. I'll show you when I get it out. So to get the connecting rod out, or whatever it's called, the little, God, I can't remember the name of this thing. Just stick something in there. Come over here and just push it out. Move your stupid guide, guide, and you push that out. And there it is. That's what holds your piston on your connecting rod. Your connecting rod is the thing that comes up and down with your piston. Okay, so now that the dowel pin's out, you just simply pull your piston off. Them are brand new piston rings. Oh yeah. I was concerned a little bit about these motors, but no, these are absolutely brand new. Okay, so the last step here is to remove these studs. Got to take these cylinder studs out, and like the intake and exhaust studs, there's no bolt heads. So is what you got to do. You either got to have a stud puller, which I do, but for the sake of the video, I'm going to show people how to get these off using just nuts. You put nuts on there and 2 wrenches. Start with one nut, tighten it all the way down. Take number 2. Gotta actually get it on there. Now you don't really need number 3, but I put it on there. It just makes it easier. Now, is how you do this. This is how I do it. You're gonna put one on your farthest one out, and you're gonna use that to hold that. You're gonna use it like, you know how when you got a nut on the end of the bolt and you need to use 2 wrenches? You're gonna do the same thing. Hold this one in place. Put this one on your bottom one. This is hard to do, trying to stay out of the view of the camera. Hold this one in place and turn. Turn. And that's it. Now it's broken loose, and you just turn the stud out. But let me give you a tip. Once this thing gets loose enough to twist out by hand, take these off, because they're a pain in the butt to get off once the engine's not holding it for you. It's starting to get pretty loose. Pretty loose. Well, anyways, I'm going to start it back in there just so the engine holds this for me. So keep your 2 intake studs together and keep your 2 exhaust studs together, because sometimes they're different lengths. And so we're on our last stud. And that's it. So the top end is off. So we'll be going on to the third video, which is the installation of the 4-valve unit. And of course, part 4 will be starting it up and seeing how she performs. So, anyways, that's that. That's the top half removed. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys learned something watching this. This is basically a whole top end removal video for a GY6. So, you know, hope you guys find something in here interesting or something, you learned something. I don't know. I'm slap happy. It's like 5 in the morning. I've been up all night working on this thing. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Have a good one. Later on.